Hello everyone, welcome to a channel for serious lovers of ethnic cultures and traditions and students of human diversity and cultural evolution. If you are an incorrigible xenophile, if you are or want to be a border-defying cultural traveler, or if you are casually curious about the world beyond your own, this is the right place for you. When we think of ethnocultural diversity, one region often comes to mind: Northeast India. Perhaps you've dreamed of traveling across its hills and valleys, immersing yourself in its extraordinary mosaic of cultures. You may have read research-based works on its languages, religions, histories, and rich traditions of art and craft. But did those books truly answer all your questions? Did they help you understand how people here see life and the world around them? Academic works can inform, but they rarely reveal the inner world, the emotional and cultural pulse of a people. To experience that, we turn to literature. And yet, finding the right body of literary and artistic work from this region isn't always easy. That's where this channel comes in. Here, we explore the mindscape of Northeast India through stories, ideas, and cultural insights that bring you closer to its people. So come along on this journey. And if you enjoy the experience, don't forget to subscribe, share, and add your own thoughts to the conversation. Let us begin by attempting to define the indefinable, that is, the Northeasterner. Nature, the master storyteller, weaves a living narrative of ethnocultural traditions in India's northeast, each hilltop in the region singing its own ancient lullaby, each river and stream humming its own forgotten myth, and the winds clattering with the whispers of diverse languages. The northeast of India is an expansive open-air laboratory where nature blends diverse customs, languages, and traditions in a constant endeavor to extract the unadulterated essence of humanity in its most indispensable form. Often referred to as a museum of ethnic diversity, the region is home to a number of tribes, clans, and communities whose ties with Mother Nature remain uncut even to this day. More than the blue hills and green valleys, what catches the eye here is its unfathomable ethno-cultural diversity. A clattering riot of colors it is, a wide spectrum of traditions, beliefs, concepts, and expressions. Every hilltop and every valley here boasts its own language, culture, religious foundation, and racial distinctiveness. If you want to hear more about the madness that is India's Northeast, subscribe and follow this channel. Travelers love to describe the region as a fine texture of diverse colors spray-painted on a canvas designed in heaven. Each ethnic group in Northeast is so obsessive about the uniqueness of its ethnocultural distinctiveness, so protective about its heritage, and so intolerant of any kind of encroachment upon its seclusion that the history of the region, or whatever we get to know about its past, is an endless saga of xenophobic conflicts between tribes, communities, and clans living in claustrophobic environs. Yet, discerning eyes detect intriguing sameness among the incompatible-looking groups here in their habits, attitudes, origins, and temperaments. The ubiquity of raw, unaffected humanity and artless forthrightness, for instance, distinguishes the ethnic Northeasterner from other mortals. Whatever clan, community, or tribe he may belong to, or whatever state of socio-cultural evolution, the Northeasterner is sure to carry with him a touch of emotional full-bloodedness spiced up with a blunt forthrightness in attitude. He is, till today, basically a food gatherer at heart. The civilized art of living off means produced by others is still to be ingrained in his system, and he has not yet become what's politically termed an exploiter. With the opening up of the region, wave upon wave of modern, acquisitive worldly concepts has been swamping the mindset of the Northeasterner, and the most depressing of all invading influences is the notion of legality, that is to say, the urbane quality of staying on the right side of the law. As he grows up, the Northeasterner passes through a labyrinth of innovative man-made laws. A new set of rules awaits him at every turn. Every now and then, he has to be shown the right side of the law, gulp down new, apparently illogical ideas, and let himself be confounded by them. The process is agonizingly perplexing. By the time he is full-grown, he is a confused bundle of contradictory ideas, ideas innate in him and ideas that were hammered into his nature-bound mind. The final tragedy comes when he has grown mature enough to realize the hollowness of the teachings the world has over the years thrust upon him. He gets to see the real picture of the machinery at work, the machinery of circumventing the law, the machinery that squeezes the law to suit its own ends. A different phase of adjustment and reconciliation sets in. He can now see through the sophistries of the world. One can at this stage expect the Northeasterner to lose the residual part of his sanity. The monstrous level of corruption at high, medium-high, and low places, the very Indian style of shortchanging and scamming without outraging the modesty of civilization, and the un-Northeastern cunning of people whom he confronts in almost all spheres of life trigger an explosion in his head. The next thing you can expect from him is a discharge. If you see a Northeasterner stumble out of a bus, you know he is getting off it. Only he is in a hurry, trying not to be on the wrong side of the law. If, on the other hand, you see him enter an altercation with the bus conductor who has mistakenly asked him to pay a lesser amount than the actual fare, you know it is the Northeasterner's inherent fear of being shortchanged that has worked him up. Perhaps this is all part of a process and the Northeasterner will one day get to grips with this. But as of now, this indefinable fear is an important defining characteristic of the Northeasterner. This fear, I believe, is also there at the root of many a problem that rocks the region from time to time. The Northeastern psyche, when clashed with norms of living that defy the canons of nature, tends to rise and revolt. No bona fide Northeasterner is too far removed from the hill tribe psyche. Somewhere deep within, the Northeastern mind has yet to be au fait with the idea of laying claim to a piece of land as belonging to a mortal whose descendants can live off its produce. Consciously or unconsciously, every Northeasterner treats Mother Nature as the sole owner of all she has on her person. Economic activities beyond the stage of growing a crop have not really made it to the core of the Northeasterner's subconscious. He is not a man of too many methods. He might, if necessary, show some skill at maneuverability, but that is sure to wear out after 2 or 3 moves. The essential free spirit has a tendency to fly back to the basics. His one-dimensional, flare-up prone head cannot handle too many knots at a time. Basically, he is a simple-hearted, undamaging, if not exactly peace-loving fellow. But he can be trusted to turn violent if rubbed slightly up the wrong way. The Northeasterner takes life at face value, and realizing something beyond what meets the eye is not his forte. His food habit has not grown beyond what his immediate surroundings have on offer. Tell me what you eat, and I will tell you what you are, goes the saying, and modern nutritionists nod solemnly in agreement, pointing out that our gut bacteria know our secrets better than our neighbors do. The Northeasterner's uprightness begins right from here. The nature-dictated food habit of his, in which every bamboo shoot, fern, and mysterious jungle delicacy serves as a kind of edible character certificate. His plate is a walking lab report, high in foraged fiber, low in factory confusion, and scientifically proven to make him suspicious of anything that arrives in shiny plastic instead of a leaf. If personality follows diet, his honesty is simply his biome behaving itself. If, at an early stage, you give the Northeasterner the moral that he should always speak the truth, you cannot convince him at a later stage that only the pleasant truths are meant to be spoken. To him, a truth is like a freshly slaughtered chicken. It must be served whole, feathers and all. And if it makes the guests uncomfortable, that is a problem for their digestion, not his conscience. How conflicting ideas mess up the Northeasterner's convictions can be gauged by studying the exploits of a tribal leader of Tripura, upon whom was thrust political prominence, complete with a ministerial birth. In my next post, I am going to explore the hilarious story of that tribal leader. a sample of the first-generation politicians that were mined from the June fields of Northeast to play a role in an imported alien statecraft called democracy. Keep an eye on this space. If the subject I'm dealing with here interests you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.